Okay. Okay. Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the October meeting of the Public Art Committee. I call this meeting to order at 4:37. Thank you all for being here. We are excited to once again start the meeting with moving forward and talking to an artist or hearing from an artist that we are hoping to commission. And so I'm going to turn it over to Sabine to introduce the artist.
Have we let them in? They're in the waiting room. Do you want to let them in? Okay. Alrighty. So I'm very, very happy and proud to introduce to you Marker 27. Marker 27 works across the states, soon internationally, I hope. The birth name is Victor Quiñones, and he's a Mexican-born, Brooklyn-based artist and Dallas-raised. So we finally have someone that actually comes from Dallas, grew up here, and comes back here to install his art. So his work is called neo-indigenous. That means he merges the aesthetics of street culture with ancestral tradition. And he has his roots in graffiti and street art, and his work spans anything from large-scale murals, fine art, design, sculpture, and installations. And each piece is meant to be a reflection of cultural pride, social justice, and community empowerment. So that was one of the big reasons why the selection panel felt Marker 27 is the right person for Vickery Park. If you remember, that's that very diverse neighborhood where we have how many languages? 70 languages, so many different heritages. Victor Quiñones is internationally recognized by his dynamic visual language, and he has exhibited globally and collaborated with major brands to create landmark public art pieces in cities across the US. And we can congratulate him because he's the 2025 winner of the Frieze Los Angeles Impact Art Prize. That's kind of a big deal. And along with many other recognitions, he also has the Right of Return and Art for Justice Fellow in 2023 and 2024 under his belt. And what he tries to do is amplify his narratives around immigration, incarceration, and identity. And through his art, he invites viewers into a vibrant space where heritage and urban expression powerfully coexist. So we have on our slideshow, if you would like to go to slide, which one is it? 7. So this is what the Vickery Park looks like from the bird's eye view. The next slide, please. This is the sad walls. And I drive by them every day, so I know how sad they are. And then I let Victor talk about his work and introduce himself, because this is what he's going to do for us if you go to the next slide. Isn't that a good change? Victor, up to you.
Yeah, can everybody hear me clearly? All right, great. So as Sabine was saying, my name is Victor Quiñones. My artist name is Marker 27. Originally from Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. I came to Dallas when I was about 4 years old. Went to Mount Auburn High School in East Dallas. Went to Woodrow Wilson for a very brief moment, but auditioned to get into Booker T. Washington and ended up graduating from Booker T in '96. So I know that ages me, but that's all right. I'm okay. It's interesting because I'd love to find a way with Sabine to communicate with some of the high school students at Booker T. Washington while I work on this project, to talk a little bit about my journey as an artist coming from East Dallas, and also all of the great opportunities that were given to me at that high school. I give a tremendous amount of credit to a lot of the staff and a lot of the educators at Booker T that really inspired me to look into Mexican muralism and muralism in general outside of what I was doing at the time, which was getting in trouble for painting graffiti all over Dallas. And that's what I was doing when I was 15 years old. So now, as an adult, internationally renowned artist as well as muralist, I've been able to work with a lot of different organizations and people like yourselves on great projects that uplift communities. This project, for example, at Vickery Park Branch, I was very intrigued by the history of the area, being from Dallas, also learning a little bit about the indigenous culture in the area, and trying to find creative ways to bring some of the history into the mural, as well as the diversity that's in the neighborhood and the imagery that was being asked of us as artists when we submitted was to bring some of the local nature into the mural as well. What you don't see in the mural is that some of the mural will basically come up off of the top line of the roof line. There'll be some extensions that would accentuate some of the nature, some of the birds, some of the graphics, and give it a more organic feel, almost like a billboard, as you will, but it'll be seamless and connected, using aluminum and some industrial backing that would, keep it pretty sturdy and also keep it from getting damaged. If you go to, I think there's a slide that has some more detailed shots. So if you see some of the languages that are written on there, there will be other languages that will be layered into the mural that just represents the diversity of the neighborhood, from Arabic to French to Spanish to Hebrew and other types of writing that would incorporate some of the different communities that exist in the area. If you go back to the slide before that again, we talked about the animals that you see, the silhouettes. Those are actually going to be a bit larger. They're going to be done on acrylic. And the reason they're being done on acrylic, we're hoping to modify the acrylic and have it illuminated with light. The reason acrylic is such an important material for me is because I use it to illuminate images that are etched onto the acrylic to expose a different image. We're hoping to have these powered by solar, so you wouldn't have to deal with any electrical. And it could be, such a sunny state like Texas would be powered indefinitely. If you go to the detailed shots of what the laser etching would do. So on the bottom, you see a series that I created called the Ice Cream Series. It's a series that was based on immigrant street vendors, and I chose to use the Mexican paleta as a symbol of resilience. The Ice Cream Series was actually what got me the award for the Impact Prize Award in Los Angeles. It was also written in the LA Times. It's a series that's growing and evolving, but what it is, it's a lot of images from street vendors in Corona, Queens, and they're etched onto the acrylic of these Mexican paletas that are illuminated individually. You see the images once it's lit up with LED lights. So similar to this execution of the acrylic with the laser etching, we're going to have different types of animals like the coyote, the rabbit, the armadillo. And if you see the images that are on those animals, that's just a placeholder for some of the things that we could possibly have from the indigenous structures, from the original inhabitants of that part of Texas, to the Santa Fe Railroad, to the original Vickery Park signage when there used to be a swimming pool there, and all these different nods to the history of the area. You can go to the next page. And this is just an overall from left to right view that wraps around the corner of the building, where you have call outs of what's going to be a 3D acrylic with LED lighting versus a 2D painted mural. The only thing that hasn't been updated on the sketch, which will be on the final design, would be the extension of some of the animals and some of the patterns that will rise above that top line and break that top line that you see to have it more dynamic and larger images, like the little boy with his sister where he's helping her learn how to read. Those two figures would be larger and up a little bit higher, and you'd see the top of their heads and shoulders popping up above the roof line versus tucked right underneath it. So these are just some of the details that will be revised once we have the final design. And the next page.
I think that's it.
That's
I didn't
it.
put
All
the
right.
whole
Well,
I didn't put your whole proposal in there.
That's all right.
I did the best of.
But yeah, no, I'm happy to hear anybody's feedback or you know,
One thing I would like to add, the whole building is fully sustained by solar power. So that is why he chose to light the LEDs with solar power as well. And they might move around the building when we figure out where the sun hits the most to have the longest illumination during the night, of course. But any questions, please ask ahead.
Questions? Hassani, please. Hassani, you're on mute or your volume is down. Doesn't say mute, but your volume is down. Maybe. We still can't hear you. I can call you.
Can you hear me?
now
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So first I wanted to say I love the use of colors and even the shapes and the different layers of that. I think is really fun and optically engaging, which is the type of thing you would want from the library. And I really like that you added, you know, Hebrew and Arabic, the words for family in there. That's not something you see very often in art, and to pull in from the area on that at a library, you know, where it's all about words. I think that's a pretty cool concept. So I really enjoy it.
No, absolutely. Actually, I know that there's several other languages. So as the design progresses, I do want to add a few more different hieroglyphics from different cultural background, ethnic backgrounds that would be relevant to the mural that are in the area as well.
Other comments or questions for Victor? Yes, Jerome.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Jerome Lattis. And I do want to comment on, it's a beautiful composition with colors and like Hassani said, the concept with the library is great. I did have a question on the parts of the mural that will be extended above the wall. What are the materials, or how would, if you said that, I apologize. If you did comment on that, I apologize. But how would you be constructing that or putting that to visually be above the line of the roof, especially with the two, the brother and sister you said that were reading together?
Yeah, so based on an on-site visit, I'll be able to go there, take my own measurements, visit with a fabricator, and be able to determine the simple shapes. There won't be complicated shapes. You know, there'll be just like simple organic shapes that would connect the composition. So like the boy and the girl that would be above the roof line, you would see almost like billboards where you have an extension of what it's sitting on top of, but it would be connected to the roof line using aluminum as the backing and then as a smooth surface, but also using a more sturdier metal that would be done with a CNC machine. I would basically hand over the Illustrator files to the fabricator. They would cut up the specification and we would create brackets that would attach from the ceiling on down to the roof and make it a very seamless connection. Also not intrusive at all or damaging the integrity of the building. So it would be, that's part of the reason we need to do the on-site, so we can see what's the best way to attach and also you know, make it seamless to the rest of the mural. It would just, from a distance, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the roof and the mural. It would all be connected.
Great, thank you very much.
Great. We have other questions, comments? Okay, well, we have nothing else. We say thank you for being with us. We're so excited about this piece. I think our questions are answered for now, and Sabine will be back in touch with you.
Thank you so much, Victor.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Have a-
Real quick, a shameless
Yeah.
plug. I will be in Dallas this spring. I have a solo show at the University of North Texas. You're
Oh,
all
awesome.
invited. I will send Sabine information for that. The show will be up for a few months. And we're also bringing a very large public art installation to Dallas as well.
Wait, can you talk at all about the public art installation in Dallas?
So we're still speaking to possible hosts.
Mhm.
We're speaking to the Nasher. I've reached out to the DMA. It's a 22-foot Mayan pyramid constructed of ice coolers. If you look it up, it's been shown at Hudson Yards in New York City. It's being shown right now at the Greenway in Boston, Massachusetts. It will be in Miami for Art Basel, and we're hoping after Miami we can get it over to Texas in time for the exhibition at University of North Texas.
And maybe the World Cup.
Oh, I don't know about the
Preview
World
up to
Cup.
the World Cup. Well, the
I
preview
would love
the
that.
press will be there.
Yeah, the press would be there. That'd be good timing.
Up on the World Cup. I'm trying to get that press involved in everything art. So
Awesome.
that's great. Yeah, if you could let us, get Sabine information, we'll get it out to our committee and our colleagues and friends, and we look forward to meeting you in person then.
Awesome. Look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
He's pretty cool. And Dallas, has some Dallas history. Went to Booker T. I think this is pretty fun.
Can we go back to that in the slide deck?
To these pieces.
Make them up to 6 feet lower.
Is your microphone on?
Sorry. So these animals, like in the original proposal, they were little, they were like 20, 30 inches. So we talked to him. So his sheets to fabricate up to 6 feet large, so we can make them really prominent so that that etching, that where text is like the old swimming pool poster for Vickery Park or anything about the railroad, will really be legible. And because we have to install them out of reach where people can't touch them, so they need to be big enough to read them. And I understand that for the local refugee population, that's of very little interest, but the old Dallasites and the library folks, they will know very well what has happened in that site previously. So it's just a nice way to connect the past to the present and the future.
Yeah, we can comment too that the selection panel had a lot of discussion about the 3 finalists, and it was a really lively
They
discussion.
were, almost any of these 3
Yeah.
would have been perfect.
Yeah.
It was a tough decision. It was a really tough one.
That was a great.
Yeah.
So without further ado, can I have a motion to move this forward, please?
So moved.
Jerome? Oh, I have a motion in the room. Hassani, can you second it, please?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Great, motion passes. Thank you all. This is an exciting one. And I think what will be really fun, I think there'll be a lot of interaction with Booker T. I think they're going to be really excited when
And I'm gonna add one.
you need to turn it on.
When we showed, we previewed this with our park partners and they were so excited about the acrylic being illuminated that they wanted on other buildings. So,
Very happy.
we can't do it that way, but it was meaningful to them.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you all so much. This will go to ACAC, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday to move forward. Right. Okay. Next thing is the approval of the minutes. So I want to make an amendment to the minutes before we ask if there are any changes. Both PAC member Thomas and PAC member Valentine were not here, so they were absent. So that would be 3 absent people. I'm hoping everybody else had a chance to review the minutes. And if so, can I have a motion to accept these minutes with those 2 changes? Oh, okay. We have a motion in the room and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. Great, the minutes pass. And then we're going to go right into update and conservation. I do want to just stop and say thank you to the staff last week for the dedication of the floodgates. I know we're going to get to it and talk about it in a minute, but that was like, as we go through these projects again, for those of us that were there in the room, which it was actually outside, but it was really exciting and really fun, and all that hard work, which had been a lot of hard work by this team. Specifically us, you get to see it come to fruition, and it's pretty fantastic. So let's keep that in mind as we continue to hear about these projects. Conservation, Guy.
because I don't know what I'm reporting on. Okay, so we did quickly sneak in one more in the final fiscal year of 2025. The Celebration of Arts by Eliseo Garcia, which is out in front of the Salmon Center for the Arts, just in time for the DACAC meeting as well. So it kind of worked out well, but those are some, the new washed and traditional hot wax on them. And then we did also sneak in a quick 5-piece of washing and spot treated at the Freedman's Memorial and Cemetery as well. So we snuck in 2 more quick projects to wrap up the 2025. All total, we have 12. Yeah, we should know this. My paper's over there. We had 12 conservation and maintenance projects done. We also snuck in a bunch of budget for out at Fair Park as well too. It did barely got in, but it's in. So we got some projects coming up there too. And look forward to 2026 and spending all of our money.
We should mention. And we should just, you may or may not have seen the newspaper articles, but just, you know, for the PAC committee, there were several, 14 bronze plaques removed from Freedman's Memorial in the last couple of days. So there's been, so in the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of attention to that. And we are working with the park department to make sure that the Freedman's Memorial is safe and secure for its art pieces. So that we're actively working on that. I do mean stolen.
If you just Google WFAA Freedman Cemetery, you can read. It's not the most glowing article, but it is facts. So, but you can go read some more about it.
So there's a police report, and the detective who is in charge of this case is the detective who's in charge of metals. So, he will go, see if plaques have been taken to some of the recycle locations, and so the police are actively working on this. He's been in contact several times. So they really are vigilantly looking into this.
Quick question. Have we considered stop using more valuable metals like bronze when we do plaques so that this doesn't happen?
So in some locations, so for example, at JC Zaragoza, that is actually a porcelain sign. The sacred nature of Freedman's Memorial is going to call for, precious materials. But when there are other locations, we've used aluminum, we've used porcelain. So we've used a variety of materials in other locations. So, and we'll see what's the best thing here. But again, it is a sacred place.
Okay. Any other questions on conservation and maintenance? Awesome. So then let's move on to public art project briefings. There we go. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I think I'm up first with Old East Dallas. And so Solar Petals was approved by the ACAC last month. And so we've moved forward with artist Anaisa Franco to work on contract development. So we're working on timeline and scheduling and coordinating with her vendors to get us to a final budget, a final timeline, and then a final contract with her. So we're working on her with that. I have a budget meeting with her actually on Friday. So we're moving ahead with solar petals at Old East Dallas Workyard Park.
Questions, comments? Great. Thank you, Drama. Next project.
My puppy. So as if I wasn't proud enough of Victor and his mural for Victory Park, I'm even prouder to announce, and the kudos goes all to the artist and the fabricators, obviously not me, but I'm still proud that the puppy has been born. So let's go to the next slide, please. These are the molds. So you see how big she, he, it is. And just let's walk through the slides. I just put 5 or 6 fabrication ones. This is what the inside of her looks like. So there's a steel armature that was, I think, cast into the casting of it. So we have the molds, and then before they cast, as you see, the steel goes right into the shape so that it's secured in there, and they cast around it. And it gives you an idea about the size of that puppy when you look at the man's shoes and hands and the armature. Next one, please. So that's her or him from underneath. So these are the outside molds. That's why there are the tabs. That's how the molds are screwed together. And next one. And they were very kind to raise her up so that we can actually see her. And I'm so happy that the little lady there gets to see the puppy as well. And she's gone. So again, like if you look at the size of the humans next to her, they don't even reach up to the belly. So that's very cool. So she's almost alive. And then in the next slide, we should see the unmolding. No, not yet. So that's again the molds. That's where they open the mold and deburr and things like that. And then we should see the birth. There she is. So this is her laying down. I presume, I'm not sure, that coloring, I think, is just a primer for the final color, because I know she's now gray, not blue yet. Next slide. And that is what she looked like from the side. So one side unmolded, the other side still in the mold. And finally, there she is. Oh, isn't she pretty? So you see in the belly, we still have that. You see how thick the fiberglass actually is, and the steel armature that will be, at the moment, she's more like a Trojan dog, but that will be closed up obviously before we get to installation. But I think she's gorgeous, and I thought actually we either compete about naming her him, or we could even hold a competition with the community and let them suggest names. So I think that would be a fun thing to do. So I don't know. I know it's 21 foot tall, so your guess is as good as mine. But we have a foundation. She will be locked in and bolted to the foundation. And yeah, I'm just happy that she's here.
What is the timeline then for
that one? Let me look.
Thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot.
I want to say spring. I want to say March or April next year.
Wow.
At the moment, we're ahead of timeline. So that one might be a FIFA dog.
The Korean soccer team will be grateful. Do we need quorum for the rest of the meeting if we don't have any voting items? Hassani, if you can hear us,
Thank you. We don't have quorum without
We-
you.
yeah, we haven't had this in years, so this is, thank you. Okay, so this is very exciting. We are birthing a dog.
Ready for adoption soon, but not yet.
Okay, next project, please. Revershan.
All right, so for Reversion, we are still doing community engagement. I had a meeting, guys supported the meeting. We had a lot of really connected people attending the meeting, like representatives from the Friends of Reversion. We also had a rep from the hospital nearby and a lot of people that are really interested to know what's happening in this moment for the parks project. And we have office hours later today, so I'm just gonna station outside the rec center and try to gather walkers to the Katy Trail interest to see what they think of the project, maybe get some feedback from them. I opened the survey and it's still out there until November 2nd, so if you can pass that around. I think it's still out there in social media. It's still in our website. So it's still receiving information. Sorry, yeah, it's still receiving feedback from community members.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can, for the, survey, is that in the councilperson's, newsletter?
They choose to put it in.
Yeah. Okay,
We send everything to the council.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious if they've seen it.
And also,
if they've done
I haven't received any info from the Katy Trail Friends
Okay,
president, so,
Amy.
yeah,
Okay,
so,
I can work with you on that.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can we go to the next slide? I think that has the QR code. Yeah. And then the next one should be Police Academy. So this project is going to be most probably an invitational. I gather a list of artists that Lynn and I reviewing and we'll review with the bond office. I think that's all the updates on that project.
Next project, please.
Thank you.
Trinity Strand.
So Trinity Strand is starting to roll. So we are in the middle of the selection panel. We had to replace one juror because, believe it or not, the city worked too fast for the juror. So that happened.
That might be a first.
Yep, but very happy about it. So we are in round 2 now, and the jurors are so far very, very impressed with the submissions. I mean, we have really lots of local artists and national, international artists submitting at very high standards. So that process should be completed by November, I would say. And then we have another artist for you to present.
Great. Next slide, please. Watershed.
We dedicated it last Friday, and the star of the show was the Watershed Gates and the day. So it was a beautiful day. We were at Bonton Farms, which was a great community partner. And we're so happy. We can go to the next slide so you can see them all. They all have names. The names are Bud Street Poem A and B. So the artist created this poem based on the words of Juanita Craft. So it's really quite lovely. And then the next slide is Landmark and Community Quilt. And so that both artists spoke. This was a collaboration between 2 artists that came together to create Calcium projects. And we're just so delighted. It's just such a lovely project for this neighborhood.
Yeah, and it was a great, great dedication. Hassani was there, Marion was there. I don't know if you want to say anything, Hassani, but no, he wasn't there. I want to say, I thought one of the highlights, besides the beautiful weather and the art, of course, was really the artists. They didn't speak for an overly extensive time, but they did such a lovely job of talking about their vision and what this Gates represented to the community and how they came to, or how they gathered information from the community to make this representational of the community. I just really enjoyed hearing them and understanding how this all came together. It was, I thought, really special. Any comments, Hassani?
Yeah, I would just say this is, as I've said from the beginning, this is right down the street from me. The historic nature of what these gates were and the transformation that Laura with Calcium Projects did is amazing. And to echo what you said, the way that they just really got into the community and did workshops and got feedback and connected with long-standing community engagement organizations and that type of thing. It was just it was a really positive, very uplifting thing, and I'm glad that we as a committee are able to give things like this to Dallas. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, next slide. Ah,
Okay, me again. So not too much happening there. We are, as you remember, last month, if you go to the next slide, we had decided the cutting patterns to get the most shapes out of the polycarbonate shape and match them up with the photovoltaic equipment. This month, next slide, please, we were dyeing PET bottles because we had
oh,
settled on those two top colors to match our original proposal as closely as possible. And then the manufacturer is actually creating a custom color for us. And what they know that we didn't know is that once it's in 3D and in a translucent panel, it looks all very different. So they dyed plastic bottles for us. So we went for the second one on the top so far, but they will also go back to the Pantone and RAL color scheme to hopefully tone down the purple, that it's not too bright, the pink, because their original color was the one on the right-hand bottom side, which was just too garish for that art piece. So that's where we're there now. So once they have that color to the right standard where the artists and the city is happy, then they will produce color samples and ship them over to us.
Right, for Cleaver Riley, we just have as an update that Carol May and John Franson, her fabricator, are working on a redesign of the piece. It's still going to be the agave shade bench proposal. They're just working on the heights of the different leaves to be in compliance with the height requirements for our program and also ADA after reviewing the design.
thank you.
Mhm.
Forest Green Library.
Yay, so lots of things happening there. If you go to the pictures, please. So you remember Strusik Art has designed this beautiful tree for us to accompany or enhance the natural tree canopy at the library. The selection panel was really keen, along with the library, to have seating there. So while the artists cannot do that as part of the budget, they have designed, next slide, please. They have designed seating that could be incorporated. So those would not be wooden surfaces. They colored it wooden because they thought that would appeal. It's actually a composite material that will stand up to the elements much better. And they can be colored in any color we wish. So artists suggested to go with more pastel colors so that they stand out more, but that way the piece will look colorful at night with the LEDs and colorful through the seating during the day. And the library can expand their storytelling or any programming out into the gardens and actually use it. And it would be fantastic because, as you remember, the community engagement was that a story writing contest would be held inspired by the tree. So people could actually sit underneath the tree and jot down their ideas for the story writing contest and obviously story time afterwards. The one issue we have, and that's where you people come into play, maybe with some clever ideas, is funding. Where does the money come from? So we have an initial budget for those. The Friends of the Library sadly don't have a cohort for Forest Green branch that just don't exist. There's I think, a Friends of the Library overall. So we have reached out or are reaching out to the city council office and see if they have
Kathy Stewart.
pots to tap into. But if anyone here has any idea where we could find a little bit of money to add the seating, I think it would really complement the artwork and the use of it for the public.
So two questions. One, do we know the budget-ish for the seating?
30,000-ish.
Okay, 30,000. And then I'm going to assume that this other project, the tree, is going ahead. We're moving
Yeah,
ahead with
yes,
that, and we'll
yeah,
just, this will
yeah,
come at whatever point.
That's
it
what
comes
we're
up with.
working on at the moment. We're going to council on December 10th. So we're working all that paperwork that has just gone crazy. And I'm working on the payment schedule with the artist, finished it today actually, so that contracting can start immediately as the council resolution is through. He does not think he can be ready for FIFA. I actually
That's
asked
fine.
him.
Yeah, fine. There's only so much we can do here. Come on.
But yeah, so that's what's happening there. Very, very, very busy with Forest Green.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, Jerome.
So I want to go back to the seating. when I'm looking at this, it seems kind of secondary in thought. So it doesn't seem kind of natural to what we're seeing from the original piece.
Mhm.
And I know you said the yellow, they just painted wood. But is the design final on the seating? or is
No.
it- Okay.
No, it's not at all. The idea was that we have the fruit or seeds dropping from the tree, and that's how they end up on the ground. But this is a first design. We can still redesign, we talk to the artist. That was just something because we wanted seating.
Thank you.
And I actually think it's so fun that it's fruit dropping down and not just a bench. You know?
It's hard to see as well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And,
Right.
and it was, I think it was just his original sketch, like.
I think when you see colors and, yeah. Okay, next slide, next project, please.
All right, so Willie B. Johnson at Hamilton Park is receiving applications and let me see. The open call is going to be receiving applications all the way through October 27. So 2 more weeks of that. And we don't have many applicants so far, but we're hoping that at the end of the of the line, we'll get many more. I think there's another slide. Yeah, so this is out there. I think I saw this announcement also in the OAC Journal newsletter. So it's out there in social media as well. Yep. I think that's all.
Do we know why this is not, did it not go on the normal network that?
It is out there, and it went through, the social media that our marketing team does. I just saw it through the newsletter that was sent, I think, yesterday. And it's still in our website.
So
Okay.
it's still, wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
I think we have 6.
We have 6.
Yeah, the
another
bulk
one
of the
came.
applications come in the last 2 days.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
just how it
Makes
is.
sense, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And
So we've had such a rush of applications and it's
Yeah.
a decent sized
they
budget.
usually what
Mhm.
they do an email blast that goes out a week after the call is published, and then they do one more a week
Right.
before it closes, and that's when all the people.
That's how,
Yeah.
it's kind of a
Again, we don't
reminder.
need quantity, we need quality.
That's exactly it. So I'm not worried about the numbers. They will
Great.
come.
Fantastic, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
About how long does it take for someone to fill out the application? Is it difficult to do? Is it fairly?
It's not. I'm sorry. Do you want to
Yeah.
answer it?
Well, so, they're sending in their qualifications.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
they're, so
Yeah.
it should not, and I'm going to hand it to Sabine, who's actually worked with CodaWorks to make sure our platform is really functional. But it is, it's basically you're applying for a job. So however that takes, crafting your resume and making sure that all looks right for the call. But as far as like an application that you have to fill out a city form, that's not what
Okay.
it is.
It's really a job
Okay.
application. So the more established artists can fill it out, I would say in under an hour, because all we request is an artist statement, a resume, no longer than, I think, 5 pages, a bio, and work samples. So the longest it takes is to probably select your work samples. If they're registered on CodaWorks already, they can upload straight their projects from there. It takes longer if you're an emerging artist. If you have never applied to a call, that will take a very long time just to get your resume and everything tweaked and together.
Right.
So, but
Thank you.
Okay, next project. Keller Springs.
You want to go, Draymond, or should I go?
I can go if you want. So we, Adriana and I went out to visit the roundabout. It was an exciting adventure because, as you can see in that image, it is literally in a roundabout. And so people are
Busy
traveling
streets.
very quickly. Yes, it is, however, in a very prominent location. And so we're very excited about that. And so we were out there, kind of walked it, were familiar with it and kind of see very preliminary feasibility for what we could install at that location. And so the possibilities out there are really quite endless. So we're working with approximately a 16-foot diameter circle. We do have some irrigation lines out there, but they don't seem to be functioning because we also saw several dead plantings out there. So that was, I think, one of our questions to the streets department / transportation is, I think in early talks, there was a desire to remove these in order to make way for the potential artwork that's happening. And so we have a meeting with their team on Thursday. So we're going to bring this forth during that meeting and talk a little bit about those preliminary logistics. What can they and how can they support the removal of these irrigation lines, the water line that sort of connects to what's existing, removal of plantings, and really see if they have or point us in the right direction of who would have soil information about what the actual construction and makeup of this of the actual roundabout space, so that we can then provide that to the artist if available. If we have it, we'll share it with them. If not, then their whoever's going to be constructing their foundation can order a dig test and also get soil samples for that. But other than that, we've made good progress on that. We also have a plan to, if they are open to it, offer some suggestions, maybe gentle recommendations on maybe I forget what the name is. I remember that guy had it for us, but something that indicates and to maybe alerts the driver that you're kind of entering a different space to help them slow down. So not only is public art beautifying spaces, we're also assisting with public safety. So maybe as they're kind of coming in, we've got some strips or something that indicates you are entering a roundabout, and that way we sort of protect the sculpture as well. So we're moving right ahead with roundabout. I don't know that I missed anything, Adriana, unless you have something also.
There are some pictures that Drema took.
Yes,
Next
thank you.
slide. And we are going to start community engagement soon on the 22nd. We're going to reach out to seniors attending the rec center at Campbell Green, because that's our nearest location. So if you are interested in passing that information, Wednesday, October 22nd. Thank you. Me again. So speaking of Campbell Green, yeah, I was kind of driving crazy. The lady, the supervisor at Campbell Green Rec Center, because we have 2 projects that are going to be stationing with, community engagement over there. This is still going to happen. Probably November, we'll have our first engagement at Campbell Green.
And Vickery Park, you heard it. We have a mural coming. We've got the artist, so nothing else to say about that.
Yeah.
Guy's going to introduce this.
Okay. So, well, I found out why my name was getting, I started getting emails from asking questions, verification questions from Sidewalk Poetry, which is live right now. If you haven't seen it, you can, by all means, we can push you the link out to you so you can share it. We have, as of today, 50 submissions already. I was just working on them right now because the way it exports them is into an Excel spreadsheet, which is not the most viable option, but I actually used some of my Excel skills and I built it into 2 different stanzas. And so it's going along. It's exciting for us. And then I'll be up in Minnesota next week. And so hopefully I can go over to St. Paul to actually look at some of their sidewalk poetry and meet with the St. Paul Public Art team to get some more information from them. But it's exciting times. 50 is good. So
That's great.
yeah.
Please keep pushing it out to your poets. Please do.
Or wannabe poets. Okay, next.
Next 2 slides.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, community engagement, I think we just have these two to give updates on. So Reversion, again, doing office hours later today. And our community meeting for Keller Springs Roundabout, October 22nd.
Great. We can skip, I think. Again, just as a reminder, they're just included in case, so everything's in one packet, so you can keep your most updated packet. So these are the other projects which, that's it. Oh, can you go back one? So Timpton Park, does somebody want to comment on that tentative date?
Jerma, do you want to, or do you want me to just do the quick dedications? Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I can give a quick update on that. So I've been in conversation with Peyton Harshfield, our artist. The foundations, as you may recall, are already built. And so we don't have to wait on anything. So right now, she anticipates that she should be complete with fabrication, maybe end of October, beginning of November, and then she'll enter into the painting phase for the artwork, and that she anticipates will be sometime in December. So we're looking at ideally we're looking really at maybe a winter 25, 26. Perhaps we're hoping to install in January, hoping to find some that happy weather that will allow us to go in. But the good thing is that the foundations are set, so it's really just a matter of everyone just being really cold when the actual sculptures arrive ready for installation. So as we near completion of the sculptures, we'll start to begin planning for installation, have timelines, delivery dates, doesn't look like we need to close any streets, but that will also kind of enter into the conversation. So right now we are looking at a winter 25-26, probably January 2026, to have a safe target date for installation at Tipton Park.
Great. Thank you for the detailed explanation. That's awesome.
And then we think that our Cloud Dog Natural Encounter could be our April Arts Month dedication. So we're hoping that those timelines track so that, we kind of keep pace with our dedications and that we are celebrating when the city is celebrating.
Awesome. Great. Next slide, please. So our next meeting is November 4th. I hopefully will be online for the meeting. I might be on a plane or I'll be online, but Bertrine will be running the meeting. And if y'all could respond to Adriana and let her know if you can't be here, like we snuck by. I mean, we're actually not in quorum right now, which is fine for ending the meeting, which we haven't been in this position for a long time. So we've been having like everybody show up. So if you could just let her know so we know ahead of time, that would be fantastic. Anything else? Any comments, questions? Happiness. I think what's so fun is to see, I'm just gonna make a comment, to see how, we all have different kind of taste in art and what we get from art and what makes us happy. We all do this for pretty much the same reason, but we have different kind of backgrounds getting here. And so it was so fun to see Hassani last week and his response to the gate, but Jerome, when something was put up today, you were like, oh, and like, it's just fun to be with people who respond. We all respond differently and like, we get different energy from it. It's really fantastic. So thank you all for being here, for being part of this committee, for your dedication to this committee and making sure Dallas has public art. So I adjourn this meeting at exactly 5:30. Thanks y'all.
Yeah.
Have a good month. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, keep me at like.
I didn't want to.